So, the other day, of course, the internet went wild when the official casting announcement was made for the Silver Surfer in Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four movie, which is set to start production this August and is going to be hitting theaters next year in 2025. Because Julia Garner has been cast as Shalabal, aka Silver Surfer, in this film. And that's upset many people because it's a female Silver Surfer that they're doing for this version. And if you haven't already, you should definitely check out my video that I posted a couple days ago when the news first broke to hear my full thoughts on it. But if you did watch that video, you know I'm personally not a fan of this choice either. Now, I'm definitely not like this choice doesn't make me go, oh, I hate it, I'm not gonna watch the movie. Like, I'm still gonna watch the film. And I don't completely hate the choice. It's just not the choice I would have personally made. Julia Garner, I haven't seen any of her work. I mean, obviously I've seen clips of her floating around on Twitter the last couple of days because of this announcement. And I mean, I think she's going to do a great job. I think from what I've seen, she's a great performer. So I have no problem with her specifically. And I think that that's great and everything. But it's just the choice to do Shala Bal as Silver Surfer and not Norrin Rad, because in the comics, Shala Bal, yes, she did become Silver Surfer, but very briefly. Like literally, if you try to look up images of Shala Bal as Silver Surfer on Google, there are like 2 different images that you can find. It barely happened in the comics. But a lot of people have been pointing out the fact that this MCU Fantastic Four movie is taking place in a separate universe. It's going to be an MCU movie, but it'll be a different universe within the MCU multiverse. So it won't be on Earth 616. So this is kind of like a what if version of the Silver Surfer, which is an interesting take. I suppose. And it does leave the door open to get Norrin Rad in the main 616 MCU when eventually, inevitably, the Fantastic Four will join that universe after Secret Wars. But interestingly, when it comes to the whole discussion of Norrin Rad being Silver Surfer in this movie, the other day when this news first came out, Lakeith Stanfield reposted this news and basically posted his reaction to it saying, quote, "Thought it was going to be me, but I guess." And then very quickly after that, deleted this post. So this is very interesting. This could mean a lot. This could mean a lot for sure. This could mean that he was actually having conversations with Marvel Studios and he was actually in the casting process to play Silver Surfer in this movie. And maybe Silver Surfer was an open casting call. And before they cast Julia Garner, it wasn't a strict decision to say, okay, we're doing a female version of Silver Surfer. It might have been open casting call, male or female, any gender, whatever. And maybe Lakeith Stanfield, he auditioned for the role. Maybe Julia Garner also auditioned for the role, and Marvel Studios just preferred Julia Garner for the character. That is totally a possibility. But then there's also the possibility that Lakeith Stanfield just likes the character and never had any real conversations with Marvel Studios, but wanted to play the role. That is also a possibility as well. Lakeith Stanfield, fantastic actor. Love this guy. I would love to see him in the MCU. And actually, another role for him, if you missed out on Silver Surfer, I would love to see him as a Dr. Voodoo. I think that would be really cool. Daveed Diggs is another nice choice for that character, but I don't really know when or if we'll be getting that character anytime soon in the MCU. But Lakeith Stanfield as Silver Surfer, I think would be fantastic casting. Really just absolutely incredible. Again, he's a fantastic actor. And when it comes to Silver Surfer, obviously it would be a CGI character. So the real main focus on casting a Norrin Rad would, I think, be on the voice. And Lakeith Stanfield has a great voice that's very deep and kind of I can picture him. I can picture his voice coming out of the Silver Surfer, just spatting out these super philosophical monologues as he's surfing through the cosmos. That just I'm just picturing it now in my mind, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And then obviously there would probably be some flashbacks with him in his human form as Norrin Rad, and Lakeith Stanfield face acting, all that stuff. He's great at that as well. So Lakeith Stanfield, I think, would be a great Silver Surfer. And again, we don't know the context behind this. We don't know why he deleted it. It could be because his team just advised him to, or there could be more to the story where maybe as some people have been discussing these last couple of days, maybe we'll get both Shah LaBeouf and Norrin Rad in this movie. Maybe in this universe, like at one point in the comics when Shah LaBeouf did become Silver Surfer, both Shah LaBeouf and Norrin Rad were Silver Surfer at the same time. So maybe we'll get both Silver Surfers in this movie, and that would be pretty cool. And maybe Lakeith Stanfield was cast as Silver Surfer, and maybe he just didn't know about this female Silver Surfer, and he just posted that and he got confused. I don't know what the case may be, but that could be an interesting choice. Obviously, we also know that since this is taking place in an alternate universe and it's taking place in the 60s, some people have theorized that maybe about halfway through the film, we will then jump into the MCU or jump into the future, or maybe that'll happen at the end of the movie, and then it'll be an ending showing up with a male Silver Surfer, possibly played by Lakeith Stanfield, and that would be a huge indicator to say that, oh, we're not in our universe anymore. So there's a lot of distinct possibilities here with that. And I don't know, I still, man, since making that video the other day about Garner's casting as Silver Surfer, obviously there's been plenty of discussions that I've been a part of, that I've heard, and there are valid points on both sides of this conversation. So I am kind of teeter-tottering back and forth now. I am not, like I said, I am not against this casting of Julia Garner as Silver Surfer, as long as we get Norrin Rad at some point. Like, I don't want this to be that, oh, we just have a female Silver Surfer in the MCU and never have Norrin Rad. Like, I would especially hate it if it was our main Silver Surfer in the MCU is Shah LaBeouf and Norrin Rad in this universe died. That I would absolutely hate. But if we can do both, and especially with the multiverse being in play here, I could find this pretty interesting, for sure. But what I do really want here is, like I said, I do want Norrin Rad for our main 616 MCU Silver Surfer. Mainly because, and I mentioned this briefly in my video the other day, because I want a solo Silver Surfer movie that is kind of a commentary on men's mental health. And this is something that a lot of people have brought up as defenses for the female Silver Surfer casting of, first of all, we got a male Silver Surfer in the early 2000s Rise of the Silver Surfer Fantastic Four movie, and that movie didn't do well at the box office, so blah blah blah. And then there's also the arguments of Silver Surfer's an alien, he can be, they can be whatever gender they want, and there's nothing saying that specifically this character has to be male. And technically speaking, no. But just personally, because Silver Surfer is one of, if not my favorite Marvel comic superhero, and this is definitely partly my fault, just because I have a specific vision for this character myself, and I'm not ready to let that go. I just see Silver Surfer as a male character because that's how I relate to him. I could see a fantastic Silver Surfer movie, like I said, being a commentary on men's mental health, where this is a character who is completely and utterly alone in the universe. He so badly longs for connection, for love, for friends, for family. Yet due to the circumstances, he cannot have that. He is cursed. He is trapped alone. He is enslaved by Galactus as a herald just to do these duties as a slave and never get that true connection that he is longing for. And he had to give up that connection when he decided to become the Silver Surfer. He sacrificed the love of his life, Shalabal, or at least being with her, in order to keep her and his planet safe from Galactus. And, you know, I don't know how many of you guys are on TikTok or like what side of TikTok you're on, but I get lost scrolling in TikTok for hours. But a lot of TikToks I see are Ryan Gosling TikToks with the whole meme of, oh, that's literally me. But being legitimately honest with you, I do actually relate to so many. The majority of Ryan Gosling characters I relate to. That was one of the biggest reasons I loved the Barbie movie, was because of Ryan Gosling, and his character of Ken, and his character in Drive. And I haven't seen Blade Runner 2049 yet, but I'm gonna try and watch it soon. From what I've seen of that, I'm probably going to relate to that character as well. All of these are characters who are in love with a woman but can't be with them for one reason or another and are cursed to be alone. And there's a lot of other characters throughout media that are very similar that I see TikToks about where I'm like, oh, that's literally me. Like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, or Robert Pattinson's The Batman, or Anakin Skywalker, or very recently, Mark Grayson in Invincible. There's a lot of characters I relate to because of that very specific trait of being that kind of cursed loner that longs for love. And Silver Surfer, I think, is the perfect representation and visualization of that idea. That's why for a while Ryan Gosling was fan casted as Silver Surfer, and he was rumored to play the character. Um, and Yeah, so that is what I would love to see. I would love to see a beautiful Silver Surfer movie that does that kind of story. Pairing that up with also just the beautiful visuals of space. And especially silence could be a really nice tool that could be used in that as well. Um, Now, is this a story that could be told with the female Silver Surfer? Technically, yes. And honestly, I would be interested in seeing that. But personally, because I am a man, I relate more to the male side of that story. And I would be interested to see what a female version of that story would be like. I certainly would. Um, but again, just all these years that I've been longing for a Silver Surfer movie, this is what I've envisioned. And obviously, that's not a healthy thing to do, is to, you know, just get so hell-bent on a character being adapted a certain way, because there's no way it's going to be adapted perfectly, especially when you have no control at all in what Marvel Studios does. But yeah, but if they were to do this, Lakeith Stanfield would be fantastic in the role. I think he would be absolutely perfect. That's been one of the things that I've kind of been curious about and kind of back and forth on, of like, who would even be good as a Silver Surfer in the MCU? Like, there's the basic castings of like, oh, Keanu Reeves and Ryan Gosling. Zachary Quinto, I think, was a good one. Rami Malek, I think, would be really, really good as Silver Surfer. But Lakeith Stanfield is one I haven't thought about. And I really like this choice. I really like this as an idea. And I would love to see this come to fruition. And, you know, because he deleted it so fast, maybe it will. Maybe there's some possibility there. You know, I have hope for the future. But of course, like I said, Julia Garner has been cast as Shalabal Silver Surfer for this Fantastic Four movie. But again, as we discussed previously in the video, that doesn't mean we won't get Norrin Rad. Again, this movie is taking place in a separate universe, so maybe by the end of the film, we will have a male Norrin Rad in the MCU, or maybe post-Secret Wars, we will have a male Norrin Rad in the MCU. Because for all we know, I mean, maybe Shalabal will be a Silver Surfer character in this Fantastic Four movie and in Secret Wars, and then she'll die, or she'll be done after that, or she'll just be done after this movie. And I think it would be really cool if we brought back Doug Jones and Lawrence Fishburne as the early 2000s version of Silver Surfer in Secret Wars. That would be really cool, and then make way for MCU 616 Norrin Rad in MCU post Secret Wars. I could see that happening. Just the real big reason that the internet has gone wild, and why I was really upset the other day with this casting choice is just because we don't have many details on this. Is we just saw the big headline, oh, it's female Silver Surfer. A lot of people jumped to conclusions. I know I personally did, so I apologize for that. If any of you were offended by that video the other day, I tried to keep it as calm and peaceful as I could, and I think I did for the most part. But there's just not enough clarification here. So that's why everybody is worrying. That's definitely why I worried at first. But now, after days of having discussions and these conversations about the possibility here, there is hope for Norrin Radd in the MCU and Shia LaBeouf as well. But again, we don't know what their plan is. So right now, all we can do is hope. And if we do get Norrin Radd in the MCU, which I'm crossing my fingers we do, I think Lakeith Stanfield would be a great casting for the character. But we are getting Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. She's going to be played by Garner. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Lakeith Stanfield's post and reaction to Juli Garner's casting? What do you think about the idea of Lakeith Stanfield as Norrin Radd in the MCU? Do you think we will get Norrin Radd in the MCU? Do you think Juli Garner or Shia LaBeouf will just be for this one movie? Do you think once we get to 616, will we get Norrin Radd? And are you excited to see Silver Surfer, whatever iteration it may be, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.